welcome to Storytime with Dudley and Miss Karen. Obviously, Dudley hears something outside. This week we're reading books with funny titles. Right, Dudley? Do you hear kids outside playing? Kids are walking past. So our book right now is This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. And he has written many, many funny books, which we've read at Storytime at the Oakmont Carnegie Library, right? He agrees. This moose belongs to me. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he just knew that it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. Marcel? Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored rule number 7, going whichever way Wilfred wants to go. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not. And because the moose was particularly poor on rule number 7, subsection B, proximity to home, maintaining a certain proximity to home, Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings so he could find his way back again. And there goes the moose. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble with rule number 11, providing shelter from the rain. Or rule number 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilfred's reach. So he's knocking down some apples. Good work. It's beneficial, right, Dudley? You like to eat, don't you? I've seen it. One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. What do you think it is, Duds? Someone else thought she owned the moose. Rodrigo, you're back! Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it only proper that he correct her. This moose belongs to me, he explained. Just like Dudley belongs to me. Right, Duds? And to prove it, he called Marcel, "Heel!" But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. Good Rodrigo. I think because she has an apple. I think you'd go to anybody that had treats, right? Fine! Embarrassed and enraged, Wilfred rushed off for home. But in his haste, and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got tangled up. Oh no, he's falling. And there he lay. Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was getting late and the monsters would be out soon. There he is laying under a tree. He had just ruled out the last of his options. He's thinking about different ways to get out of there when along came the moose. And performed rule number 73 brilliantly, rescuing their owner from perilous situations. And there he goes. All was forgiven, and perhaps Wilfred admitted he never really owned the moose anyway. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules whenever it suited him. That's basically the relationship that Dudley and I have. Dominique, you're back, and you brought me an apple. So it looks like he's got a third owner as well, right?